Hello, my name is Kehinde Adegoke, otherwise known as Ken Crown. I'm a writer, host, speaker, liberation, and intentional lifestyle coach. And you are welcome to Monday Motivation. On this platform, we motivate, inspire you, liberating you from just living into intentional living. And just to remind you, our books are still fast selling on Amazon. There are practical tools that will help you overcome any situation that you may find yourself, or they could serve as a compass to guide you in your choice of influence. If this is your first time being on this platform, please do not hesitate to like, subscribe, share, follow us, and most importantly, we would like to read back from you how our videos has been impacting you and how you have been flourishing in your place of influence. So what are we talking about today? So today we're talking about how to overcome intimidation. You may be wondering, or you may say, oh no, I can't be intimidated. No, I cannot be intimidated. The truth is, anyone can't be intimidated. I was once in that shoes. Oh my God, when I see this certain individual, I am gripped with fear. You know, this individual made me think that I have nothing in my brain, and sometimes I think it's not intentional, but it is what it is. I felt intimidated, you know, especially when you're trying to speak to someone about a particular thing, but the person wants their word to be the final verdict without trying to understand where you are coming from. And for a long time, I battle and second guess everything I want to do. If I've not seen this particular person, I will not be able to do things because the person made me think that I cannot do anything until I see them because they have the solution. But the truth is, the only person that has the solution to anything that you're going through is God. God will use some people, but those people, you don't have to be intimidated around them for you to be able to learn from their wealth of wisdom. So let us go into this. If you are going through intimidation, please feel free, grab a chair and let us dig into this. But if you feel that you're not intimidated at all, maybe this video is not for you. We will see you next week. I promise, you know, by God's grace, to bring you something that will impact you. But today we're speaking about intimidation for people who need to thrive this week, people who need to stand on their own and be all that God has called them to be. So let us speak about intimidation. You must have heard people say, you must not be intimidated. Try and avoid to be intimidated. When you're intimidated, you're toxic, you're this, you're that, and all of that. I am telling you that it comes with feeling, and a lot of things could cause it. It could be your perception, and it could also be inflicted on you. So what is the word intimidate? The word intimidate, according to the dictionary, is to be frightened or being overawed of someone, especially in order for them to make you do what they want you to do. When anyone appears persuasive and not giving you that room to have that conversation whereby you can also bring your ideas to the table, or making you feel like you're a fool, making you feel like, oh, there is nothing in your brain, or you know less than you know, that person is trying to intimidate you. But you need to break free from that, because if you do not break free from that, you will not be able to thrive. You'll find yourself second guessing your choices. You find yourself second guessing your results. You find yourself second guessing your ability. You find yourself second guessing yourself, and you don't want to operate under second guessing yourself. So let us look at what intimidation is. Intimidation is an intentional behavior that could cause a person of reasonable apprehension to fear injury or harm. So in your own case, it might not even be injury, but it could be something emotional deep down inside of you. You've just had that fear. Once you see these people, you're just so, you could slightly feel the change in your emotions, in your feelings. You started feeling fear. You are in over horror of someone. It's good to respect someone, to honor someone, but when it comes with this fear of uncertainty whereby you start rejecting, you know, everything you know just flies off your head and you're just standing there like a log of wood, that is very, very dangerous, because then you cannot put your best feet forward. You cannot bring your best to the table, because that has been nullified at the presence or at the appearance of that particular person. So what are the implications of being intimidated? Number one is it will rob you of your boldness. You will not be able to speak with confidence or with boldness because you're so scared. You've added at the back of your mind, somewhere deep down, that whatever you say is not going to be acceptable, or you are going to look stupid. The second one is that it robs you of doing great exploits. You will realize that you have so much dreamt about, you have so much you've drafted out, but you are not able to do great exploit because you will be second guessing yourself. And the third one is it will rob you of your peace, because those things that you desire to do that you're not able to do, it will be there and place unrest upon you. So you realize that you will not be peaceful. There's this stress inside of you thinking, I should be able to achieve this, I should be able to do this, but you realize that you're not doing it. And the absence of you being able to do those things and be free like a bird, you realize that you're stressed, you're tensed about that particular thing, or whenever you're around these people. Know this, it is daunting to encounter people who are physically formidable, people who are smart, who are ultra rich, or people who are generally powered up. But I tell you, there are ways to manage such interaction with confidence and with grace, whether you are the intimidator or you are the person who just wants to get away. So let us quickly go through how can we overcome intimidation. First, you need to understand that the spirit of intimidation and fear, they are partners. Whenever you are intimidated, they instill fear. It's like an exchange. You get fear instead of peace, instead of freedom. Then you're scared, you are entrapped in this confinement of, I am not good enough. I cannot do this as best as I should, or I cannot do this the way that I think I should because I can't just do it. But remember, if you're a person of faith like myself, you know that God has not given us the spirit of fear to be intimidated, but He has given us the spirit of love, of peace, of joy, of sound mind to overcome any challenges that we might be faced with in life. The next one is you need to know that you are enough. It is not enough to say it with your words, with your mouth, to say, I am enough. You need to believe that you're enough. Whenever you find yourself in the place where you can be intimidated, or someone who had intimidated you in the past are, you need to know that your craft, whatever you're coming in with, is enough to sell you that spot, or is enough to win you that contract, or is enough to transform and to change life. You just need to know that whatever you have is enough. Most importantly, you are enough, which is why you need to master your craft. You need to understand what you are doing, and you need to patiently, pave your way through that, so that when you are standing, you're standing in the authenticity of who you are, and you are crafting from the place of identity. The second one is whenever you enter into a place whereby you can't be intimidated, or you feel intimidated, or someone who had intimidated you in the past will be present or is present, you need to know that you belong there. You being there is not a game of chance. You being there is not because you've paid your way through the place. It is because of your sweat. You got there because you put in the work. Now you need to allow your confidence play out in this place. Now you need to build that confidence. You need to gather yourself together and then stand with confidence, with your head up high. Never bow your head down. Head up high. Put a smile on that face and face it. Remember, I didn't say fake it. When you fake it, when they say something, it can just come crashing and crumbling down. You don't want that. You face it. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I can do this. I am more than a conqueror already. That is the word of faith. and you stand upon that solid ground, trust me, you will not crash down. Number 3 is know that you have value. It is very important that you know that you have a role to play wherever you have been told to appear, or wherever you are going. Know that you have a value to add to someone. See, God has not just given you anything. God has given you something substantial enough to change and transform the life that you come across. So you need to know that you come with that value. So whenever you are in the midst of those intimidators or people that you perceive that could intimidate you, you need to remind yourself that you have value inside of you. They will not be able to see, or they may not recognize that value you have, but you need to hold on to that value. And when you're sharing that value with confidence, they will come to the understanding of that value. Even if they do not accept it at that moment or at that instant, you have definitely changed something in their minds. The next one is avoid saying sorry unnecessarily. Sometimes you may say sorry and it could cost you a lot, because then people that tend to prey on that, especially if you've done nothing wrong. But if you have done something wrong, you are welcome to give a heartfelt apology, whereby the person you're apologizing to can recognize and see that you are genuinely sorry for what you've done. But even after apologizing, make sure that it doesn't place you under or below that person. Make sure that you rise above it. Because even when you approach the throne of grace to obtain mercy, when you are going back out, you are going back out with confidence, knowing that you have been forgiven, and you're not going to stand there. Then you're going to take up the call and you begin to work in it. So if that applies to you as a child of God, then why do you have to be under or to operate under anyone? I am not saying that you need to be proud. No, that's not what I'm talking about now. What I'm talking about is, after apologizing, do not stay or remain intimidated. Now you need to raise your bar back up and do what you are there to do. And the last one is, never give anyone permission to intimidate you. Never. Never give them that power. Never give them that tool. Never give them that opportunity to intimidate you. Always be at your best. Rather than staying intimidated, celebrate these people. Learn from what they are doing that is intimidating you. So take, for instance, you see people who speak and you're intimidated by how they speak, and you're thinking, I cannot speak like this person. Or you've been called to do a particular business, but by the time you got there, you realize that your competitor, as they have a track record, and you, maybe it's your first time being there. Rather than being intimidated, take it with all boldness and with your full chest, knowing that you will be able to crush it and bring something, not just something extraordinary from that particular thing. Wherever that you've been called to serve this week, do not be intimidated by people, by what they say, by how they speak, or by how they present themselves. The truth is, some people are even scared inside, but they just put up a show to look like they've got this confidence. So, but you know that you have that confidence. Even if you do not know that you have confidence, remind yourself of your past achievement, the things that you've done in the past, the things that you've thought that you were not able to do, but you were able to achieve them. Remind yourself of that, and that will boost your confidence, and you will be able to go for those things and be the best at it. Remember, even if you put your confidence, even if you put your best feet forward and you still did not get it at that time, make sure to take note of why you have not gotten it. It is not because of you have too much confidence. It is not because you understand your craft too much. It is not because people are looking at you and they're thinking, oh, she cannot do it. Oh, he cannot do it. Or like what people will say, oh, they're not giving it to me because of my race. Or they're not giving it to me because of how I appear. You need to understand why you've not been given that opportunity. Go back, work on those gray areas, and come back being the best, and come and crush it. That's what a goal setter does. That's what we do on this platform. We'll trash all those norms. We'll trash those things, those standards that bring limitations, and we'll walk through with intentionality and become all that we are called to do. So till I see you again next week, know this: Intimidation is there to show you the worst case scenario. So what do you do to it? Instead of walking in that feeling, you need to recalibrate your paradigm, knowing that you can bring good out of bad and you can be the best that you were called to be. Rise up and refuse to be intimidated any longer. Bye now.